trending burning question powered by Reva University.
Welcome back to this section of the trending burning question. Rahul Gandhi in his US jaunt has made a comment shooting from the shoulders of an espionage accused and attacking India's freedom of expression situation. But then in trying to target the government, did Rahul Gandhi make some mistakes of fact? Ladies and gentlemen, he is leaving no opportunity to bring down and target the country. After demeaning Hindu traditions, he has openly backed an espionage accused in the United States under the garb of freedom of press. Here is what happened, and then we come back to discuss.
On American soil, Rahul Gandhi has expressed his support to an espionage accused.
And let me ask you about press freedom, very important issue for us all. I should, full disclosure, my colleague, Vivek Raghuvanshi, was arrested several weeks ago and charged with, and accused of espionage. He's an Indian citizen. And what does that, he's been working for my company for more than 30 years and as a journalist. And I wanted to ask you what that says about the state of press freedom in India when someone, can be just accused of, even after, if it was someone with such a reputation can be accused in such a cavalier manner.
No, I think the fact that there is a weakening of press freedoms, this is not hidden. I mean, everybody knows it. It's apparent in India. The rest of the world can see it. And I think press freedom is very, very critical for a democracy. I mean, one should be open to criticism, and one should listen to criticism. I mean, that's the feedback loop that builds democracies. And definitely, there is a weakening of press freedom. I mean, and it's not just press freedom. It's on multiple axes. On multiple axes, there is a clampdown on the institutional framework that allowed India to talk, that allowed the Indian people to negotiate.
Vivek Raghuvanshi, a journalist with an American portal, was arrested last month by CBI on charges of leaking sensitive data to foreign intelligence.
Some people who go to the US say on some things. Look, I say that I can only talk for myself. I try when I go abroad not to do politics abroad. So I may differ strongly with someone. I could say to you I differ with them, but how I countered it, I would like to go back at home and do it, and watch me when I get back.
Rahul's backing for an espionage accused has come under fire.
भारत के बाहर जाके on विदेशी soil जाके और बिल्कुल criticism शुरू कर देना, it's a habit which should be curbed. I mean, anybody breaking the law, he has to be dealt with under the law. To make this a press freedom issue is total nonsense.
How did a case of espionage accused become an issue of press freedom? Is Rahul undermining national security with his statements? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
All right, is Rahul undermining national security? Joining me to discuss, Guru Prakash Paswan, national spokesperson of the BJP, joining us live from Patna. Dr. Sumansi Raman, political analyst, live from Chennai, leans toward the Congress party. And let me begin with Nikhil Jain, again leans toward the Congress advocate, live from Delhi. Nikhil Jain, is it a case of error of judgment, or is it a case of ignorance, or worse still, is it a case of ignorance is bliss for Rahul Gandhi to be shooting from the shoulders of someone who's accused of espionage, who's in judicial custody, and his case is under investigation under the Official Secrets Act?
See, I don't want to make any judgment on whether the person is actually guilty of the offences he's been charged with. But I would like to remind my friends from the BJP that when it comes to the issue of Brij Bhushan sexually assaulting our women wrestlers, he is innocent until proven guilty. But when it comes to the issue of Commander Raghuvanshi, he is immediately guilty of espionage. Let's not forget that the man served in the in the Navy for so long.
No,
He's
I
been a
have
journalist
not.
for
Nobody
so long.
has pronounced that verdict. No,
May not be, but
don't twist
straight away,
facts.
label him as
Nobody
guilty.
has said he is guilty. I am not even saying that he is charged. I am saying, mark my words. I said he is accused of these charges by the CBI, and the matter is under investigation. I only said that. My question was, Nikhil, you are missing the point. My question was, let me bring it again to you. Did Rahul Gandhi, in trying to shoot from the shoulders of Vivek Raghuvanshi, make the mistake of banking on somebody who's accused of serious charges by an investigating agency and doing so from foreign soil?
That's the point. Mr. Gandhi has not supported Mr. Raghuvanshi. Mr. Gandhi is simply saying that press is under threat in this country, and that is something we all know. So many journalists are being arrested on trumped up charges. We don't know what charges are right and what are not. Let's not forget the issue of Sadiq.
Give two examples.
That journalist from Kerala who's been in jail for 2-3 years, who spent 2-3 years in jail just because he wanted to report on the issue of the Hathras rape. There have been no serious investigation or no conclusive investigation against him, yet the man spends over 2 years just for trying to report a crime in a state that is ruled by the BJP. So how can we rule that out? Journalists are being arrested in today's India under the Modi regime, under BJP states. State governments from one state are going and picking up people in opposition ruled states. That is the kind of state we have come to. So what Mr. Gandhi is saying is a generic statement. It is nowhere in support of somebody accused of espionage.
It was a generic statement, but as I said, Nikhil, it's likely that Mr. Gandhi was ignorant of the facts. Otherwise he would have put in a qualifier there that I don't know about the specifics of this case, or I would rather not comment on Vivek Raghuvanshi, but then he could have continued with his political comment. Guru Prakash Paswan, the last case of a government not liking somebody's freedom of expression was just about last week, I think, when Shanta Murthy, a government school teacher, a primary school teacher in Karnataka, was suspended for criticizing the new Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah. And we have Nikhil accusing the BJP of jailing journalists. I don't know which case, specific case he is talking about. The Hathras case he mentioned. The guy ultimately got bail from a court of law after pursuing his legal defense for whatever time it took. It was not the government, it was a court which decided whether he should be free or not. Guru Prakash, but my question is, did Rahul Gandhi make the mistake of not prefacing his political comment or ideological position by distancing himself from Vivek Raghuvanshi case, and that's the mistake he made?
A very warm good evening to you and my fellow panelists, and for Rahul Gandhi ji, who comes from a party that has a legacy of imposing emergency. The only dark chapter in our constitution is speaking of freedom of speech and expression. It is really laughable. For Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in whose political party there is absolutely no freedom of speech and expression, to speak on constitutional ethos is again laughable. For Mr. Rahul Gandhi, whose Congress party sought evidences of surgical strike on record, what else can you expect? Under Congress party, in the imagination of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the security and sovereignty of the country has been compromised on multiple occasions. Since 1947 to 2014, we have seen Congress party systematically compromising the security and sovereignty of our country. And you don't need to go that far. I was just looking at a report only last year. Good that you mentioned about the Karnataka incident. Raipur journalist held for writing satire against government. For writing satire against government, a Congress-ruled state. Is there no freedom of speech and expression there? This is the sheer double standards, the hypocrisy of the Congress party. We have to understand, on a foreign soil, we have to understand that India is the world's largest democracy. India is the world's oldest democracy. India is the most transparent democracy, where there has been absolutely no conflict when it comes to the transition of power. But Mr. Rahul Gandhi has to defame India. You have to understand the larger game here. There are breaking India forces. India today is the 5th largest economy. India today is hosting the G20. India today is hosting the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. On the initiative of Indian government, the United Nations is celebrating International Day of Yoga, International Year of Millets. But there are certain forces globally, there are certain forces within India being led by Mr. Rahul Gandhi who cannot simply digest the
Nikhil,
fact,
what's the objection to this? Nikhil, what's the objection to this?
Objection is
rise
my
of
friend from the
Atmanirbhar
Nikhil,
Bharat.
what's the objection? Quickly before I go to Mr. Sumant Raman.
Rahul Gandhi, the entire opposition, people who've been democratically elected are anti-national, they're India-breaking forces. Let me remind my friend from the BJP that when this country got independence in 1947, it was not the RSS that got us any independence.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi is no longer elected in the parliament, my friend.
Right, it was the Congress party.
Can we talk about the
Mr. Rahul
present?
Gandhi
Nikhil,
is
can
no
we talk
longer
about the
part of the
present?
parliament
Nikhil,
as
can
per
we
the
talk about the
court of
present?
law.
If you want to go back to
Lal Bahadur Shastri,
If you want to go back to history, we are discussing freedom of expression. So, okay, hold
Rahul
on.
Gandhi is no
Sumant
longer
Raman.
part of the Indian parliament as per
Okay,
the
hold
court
on.
of
Sumant
law, as
Raman.
per the judicial process, you have to understand.
where is... I'm sorry.
All right,
Mr. Rahul
let me
Gandhi
take
is
this
no longer a
forward.
member of
Sumant
parliament,
Raman.
you should understand, my friend.
Hold on. Let's stick to the debate. Rahul Gandhi has turned this into a freedom of speech or freedom of press issue, but shooting from the shoulders of someone who's accused of espionage. Now, without prejudicing, Sumant Raman, without prejudicing the legal defense of the accused, Vivek Raghuvanshi, according to CBI, had illegal collection of sensitive information, minute details of DRDO defense projects, sensitive details about future procurements, reflecting strategic information about nation's defense preparedness, along with classified information on national security, and also information by way of communications that could have adversely affected friendly relations with some of our friendly countries. Now, he is also, according to CBI, accused of sharing some information with possibly foreign intelligence agencies. Now, as I said, without prejudicing his legal defense. Now, these are some serious charges. It seems, Mr. Sumant Raman, that Rahul Gandhi was not aware of them. Otherwise, he would have at least said, I don't know about the specifics of this case, but then he could have gone on and said, oh, freedom of press is this, freedom of press expression is that in India.
No, I think you have to understand very clearly. Rahul Gandhi at no stage has given a clean chit to Vivek Raghuvanshi. He has not said, Mr. Raghuvanshi is innocent, I think they should not have arrested him at all. He didn't say that. He said that a person who is deemed to be a journalist, and who did the question come from? First of all of this arises only when you take questions, unscripted questions from public and media. So there are people who don't have this problem because they don't take questions at all, whether it is from media or from anybody else. So
I suggest you are actually admitting, Mr. Sumant Raman, that Rahul Gandhi perhaps fumbled with an answer because it was an unscripted question. I think it was not, because remember, the moderator actually discloses that he has a personal interest in this because the accused happens to be his friend. That was enough red light for Rahul Gandhi to really catch hold of.
That is why Rahul Gandhi said press freedom has come under threat in India. He did not even mention the word Raghuvanshi in his reply. If you see the reply, he did not say, oh, Mr. Raghuvanshi has been arrested. I don't think that this is fair. This is a matter of press freedom. He didn't say that at all. He said, the question he was asked was, Raghuvanshi is my friend and he has been arrested in India. Do you think this indicates that press freedom is eroding? And the answer was, press freedom is eroding in India.
He could have said that Raghuvanshi is your friend, not my friend, and I don't know the specifics of the case, but then this is the situation so far as press freedom is concerned.
You now know, Abhishek, that Raghuvanshi is Rahul Gandhi's friend. Is he? I didn't know this. I don't think he is Rahul Gandhi's friend.
No, I said he could have said Raghuvanshi is your friend, not my friend. He could have said that. That's what I'm saying.
Of this. We are dissecting each and every word that Rahul Gandhi speaks, every sentence, the tense in which the sentence was spoken.
No, there is a reason why we are doing this. No, there is a reason why we are doing this, Mr. Sumant Raman. Remember,
the man
we
has
are not dissecting every word that he has said.
The man has the guts to take these questions. The man has the guts to stand up before the most hostile of media.
But at the expense of India, Guru Prakash Paswan, you think this is, as Sumant Raman tries to project, Rahul Gandhi, the Democrat from foreign soil, trying to tarnish India's image just because he's taking
How is
questions
India's
this should be
image
seen as
tarnished?
something good?
How is India's image tarnished?
Obviously, India's image is tarnished.
So I was
No, I'm sorry.
Obviously,
This whole
India's
argument-
image is tarnished
I'm
because
sorry,
remember,
the present
because
government-
remember,
I'm
this
sorry,
becomes the comment
the
of Rahul
government-
Gandhi
this
that
whole
there is no
argument
press
that
freedom in India becomes
is not right.
Criticize the country abroad. It is very.
The Prime
it is the very
Minister
essence of
said
democracy for an
Indians were
opposition leader
ashamed to be
able
born in India
criticize its
earlier.
government.
The Prime Minister on a trip abroad said Indians were ashamed to be born in India until a few years ago.
Right.
Is that not tarnishing the? If that is not tarnishing the image of India,
Guru
I don't
Prakash
know what is.
Paswan. Sumant Raman is throwing a Prime Minister's comment at you, Guru Prakash
because
Paswan.
a lot of people were using. A lot of people were saying that Rahul Gandhi, the Democrat, and we are discussing about democracy. So let's have some basic decency to observe the principles of democracy. Let's not speak over each other for the first time. Thank you so much. So I was patiently listening to Mr. Sumansi Raman and the entire speech where the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Ambedkar, Nehru, they were all labeled as NRI. The freedom movement of India originated in South Africa. No credit to Rani Lakshmi Bai. No credit to Rani Jhalkari Bai. No credit to Mangal Pandey. Is this your idea of democracy? Is this
Guru
how you are
Prakash,
going
stay
to
on the
pay
debate.
tribute to the martyrs?
Guru
who
Prakash
made supreme
Paswan, stay on the
sacrifice for
debate. I would
nation?
rather say-
Absolutely not.
Raghuvanshi has
No, you have to
disappeared from
understand
the
this.
debate.
You have
Raghuvanshi has
look at the
disappeared from
speech.
the debate.
I want to respond.
Look at
Stay on
the
the debate.
speech. No.
I would rather say, Sumant Raman, Okay,
Mr.
Nikhil.
Rahul.
We have gone back
Mr.
to
Rahul
Guru Prakash, hold on.
Gandhi.
proving
Rahul Gandhi,
You have to understand.
Rahul Gandhi has a certain legacy, you know. He's talking about press freedom. Hold on.
okay.
Guru Prakash, hold on.
Let me
Let's
just
stay on the
So he's
debate.
talking about press freedom.
Nikhil,
There is absolutely
Rahul Gandhi
no.
talking about press freedom. Look at the irony. He is talking about press freedom or lack of press freedom
have
in
to
India
understand,
from the soil of United States. You know, the First Amendment to the US
have to
Constitution
understand,
makes
Abhishek.
freedom of speech absolute. While in India, the First Amendment to the Constitution under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru at that time, piloted by him, actually puts in restrictions on freedom of speech. For Rahul Gandhi to be so oblivious of history, and more importantly,
That's not being
again I am
oblivious.
mentioning,
Mr. Kapoor, I think you
to
are
be
being oblivious to it
not
when we say that.
distancing himself
I
from
think
an
we see your
espionage
point.
accused.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
Really?
we would be
all the
oblivious
time
to
we are
history if
looking
we don't
back.
realize the context of the First Amendment. The First Amendment was brought in at a time.
One by one.
The First Amendment was brought in at a time when India
Mr.
was a
Rahul
brand new
Gandhi.
nation.
Mr.
We
Rahul
had clubbed
Gandhi has
together
no
more than
coherence of
500
thought.
country states.
There
We
is
had
no
clubbed together
logical,
so many different
rational
cultures
reasoning
into
to
a
what
single
Mr.
country,
Rahul Gandhi
and
is
we had
speaking.
to stop
Mr.
separationists
Rahul
and
Gandhi is
secessionist movements,
speaking
which is why there
pointlessly.
needed
Pointlessly
to be
about anything.
reasonable
There is no
restrictions on
historical
freedom of
evidence to
speech.
whatever he has to speak.
not give that context
And the
would be
point of the
being
matter,
oblivious
the
to it.
fact of the matter is essentially this. He has no coherence of thought, no articulation at all. When he is quoting from history, he is quoting about freedom of speech and expression. We have to understand this simple point. There is absolutely no coherence when it comes to the observations of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. कोई सिर पैर नहीं है. There is no logic. There is no rationality. The sort of point that you are making,
Okay,
and you rightly
Sumant
said,
Raman.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi
Sumant
did not
Raman.
deny. When the issue of Raghuvanshi came, Mr. Rahul Gandhi could have denied. He did not deny. In law, the absence
Sumant
of
Raman.
denial is what, my friend? The absence of denial is acceptance. Did Mr. Rahul Gandhi
Exactly.
accept the Raghuvanshi
I think
case
that
as
is
a
the
fact?
reason why we
You
are
have to
debating
mention.
it.
You
That
have
is
to
the
give
reason why we are
clarification.
debating this, because absence of denial means acceptance. Absence of denial means acceptance. Monam sammati lakshanam.
What?
Sumant Raman. You know, we had that soundbite of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. He was speaking, I believe, somewhere in Africa. The grace with which he took that question. And he said, okay, fine, whatever Rahul Gandhi said, it's fine. I will counter it once I am back home on my own soil, because I'm quoting External Affairs Minister. He says, there are sometimes things bigger than politics. And when you step outside the country, that is important to remember. I differ with them, but how I counter it, I would like to go home and do it. I think that grace, that dignity, that you are not discussing the dirty linen, as it is said, outside, even if it is so, even if it is not. The question is, are you trying to embrace embarrass your government because you are not able to politically challenge it back home here in Delhi?
Okay. By the way, I don't know whether you saw Mr. Jaishankar's statement on the tragedy, train disaster, where apparently he said the world has stood by us on the train disaster. I don't know what he was expecting. When there is a disaster in any country, the whole world sympathizes. It happened before 2014 also, when there were disasters happening. The world has lined up and stood with whichever country suffered the loss, wherever people died. The world has come together and offered them support. So I don't know what kind of a statement.
What's the connection?
today.
What's the connection? You're sidestepping my question, Mr.
No,
Sumant
because
Raman.
you quoted
You're sidestepping my
because
question. I'm
I have
saying,
the answer
could
to the
Rahul
question.
Gandhi could he have handled this more gracefully? That's the question.
No, the question is, you quoted this gentleman as the fount of all things wise and a great deal of wisdom. So I gave you another quote from the same man on the same day or a day earlier. So that's all.
No,
My
he's thanking the world leaders who have come out expressing condolences for the loss of life. As External Affairs Minister, he is right to do that.
1 minute.
As External Affairs Minister, he is supposed to do that.
1 minute. Rahul Gandhi.
Not Rahul Gandhi, who is not even a member of parliament.
Let me ask Mr. Guru Prakash. Rahul Gandhi is a pappu. Rahul Gandhi
Quickly
is
ask
not
your question and last word to Guru
contender
Prakash.
at all. He is hardly a politician. He's been, disqualified from parliament. Yet day after day after day. Why would
Okay,
you want
30 seconds to Guru
dissect
Prakash.
every
30 seconds to Guru
statement
Prakash.
of
Guru
his?
Prakash. 30 seconds. Are you giving more importance to Rahul Gandhi than he deserves? That's the chart. Quickly.
We live in a democracy. It is the people of India who decide the fate of politician. And the fate of Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been decided previously by the people of Amethi, then by the court of law for insulting the OBC
Also,
community.
people of Wayanad.
It is not us. It is not the panelists who are sitting here and giving the gyan.
All right.
No, we cannot give
Rahul
the gyan.
Gandhi
We don't have this moral high ground with you. We cannot give the
Questioning
gyan.
India's
It's a nation of 1.4
freedom
billion
of speech
Also,
in the United States, but then perhaps he chose the wrong shoulder to shoot from. Someone who's accused of espionage, who's under investigation, and by the way, who continues to be in judicial custody. It's a mistake. I think the Congress party's think tank does not do the homework on behalf of their leader, and that's something which is happening with increasing frequency. Hopefully somewhere, somebody in the Congress party would take note of it. On that note, we come to an end of this conversation, but it continues on the other side of a short break with Arnab Goswami back with the debate.
The top-ranked Amity B.Tech attracts some of the most brilliant students of India, with alumni working in top companies around the world and earning over 2 crores rupees per annum.